Hey, it's Ika here. I thought I'd go over just our last week of games as the manager of the Inkays, as well as just have a look into what our playoff chances are and review how the season's gone so far. And basically, I want to create some content for my YouTube channel. Gotta keep it growing from 7 subs. Perhaps we can have 8 subs soon. Click the button, subscribe, follow, all that jazz. Also, my old microphone's broke, so I'm using a backup. I think this mic is actually better and less crackly than the other one. So I'll come to this in a second, but I'm just going to review last week. Look at our games. We won 5-1. There are some spicy games, let's put it that way, in this series, and I'll kind of just break down, how things went. So the first series we played was Puff versus Hzhz. Just looking at the matchup, basically, Puff's brought a Megalopony. This is very similar to what Jamar actually brought. We have the Lopony Celesteela Feeny with a Thunderous T, a nice mix of offensive typings. Here you've got the Electric, the Fire, the Ghost with Aegis Slash. We were thinking of switching this with Mimikyu, but Aegis Slash is very solid. It really does tell that Lele to fuck off, basically. So yeah, just a very solid all-round team. I wanted Puff to bring something that he was comfortable with, but also had breaking the team he brought the week before last didn't really have much breaking potential. I know Hzhz is similar to Jamal in that he can bring and play fast teams, or bulky offensive teams as well, Hippo Ag meant. So this team was pretty good. Lopunny just has a great matchup here. I mean, he does have the Lele, and the Gyarados can be a bit of a threat. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So we see Lopunny lead versus the Lando lead. Probably going to see a fake outcome here. No reason not to fake out. Hzhz makes an interesting play into the Naganadel. Basically here, I'm pretty sure Ice Punch still KOs, even at -1. So this is a strange play, because fake out is pretty free, unless I guess you can go Tapu Lele as well, is a possibility. But yeah, he shows that he doesn't have Tapu Lele. We're going to see an Ice Punch come out. Yeah, looks to be standard Gyarados. I see the Dragon Dance come out from Gara. Unfortunately, this is max defense Tapu Fini, so the Gara doesn't have any chance. We see a second Earthquake come out. Reflect. The Reflect I don't think is needed, but it basically means that Gara can't come in. Gara can't KO stuff, or Lando can't revenge kill after Gara attacks, so you kind of forced to go Naga. I don't like the Naga switching. I think that was a bit. I think you just have to sack. It's difficult. Actually, he needs everything. Maybe sacking the Lando is the best play, since it's obvious that since Puff has a Heatran and he's not shown a Naganadel check yet, that he's gonna have either like one of his. He's gonna have one of his steals basically. Probably Heatran is the best because it or Heatran or Aegis Slash. Basically, Heatran covers both Tapu Lele and Naganadel. It doesn't do so well against Kartana because I think Kartana's Sacred Sword ignores Reflect. But Aegis Slash does better against Kartana, also excellently versus Lele, and can sponge hits from Naga if needed. So we see the Balloon Tran here, Sludge Wave. Basically, even if this Naga is HP ground, he's fucked. So he has to go back into Gara, do Wrist Burn. Okay, nice Earth Power. And basically, Earth Power does more to Gara. But at the same time, you can if you had it, Lava Plume has a chance to burn Lando, which would make it even worse, basically. So we see a double into Lando, perhaps predicting another Earth Power, perhaps, or the Feeny coming. Rock Tomb to break the balloon. We see the Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock here is like pretty good in that it essentially it means that Lando when it switches back in will be in range of Fake Out to Ice Punch if it's a Sash Landorus T, which with a Gara and a Naga, our team is pretty likely. So we see Lopunny come out. We'll go see the Fake Out here. It's free. Yeah. Nice. Fake Out into return. He can't go Naga. He has to go Lando. We're going to see him go into Feeny here. Onto Naga switch. Basically, because of that rock switching, and the Fake Out damage, Lando's going to die to Ice Punch. So there's no way that HC can win this game. Very solid game 1 for my guy. Puff. See game 2, what adjustments they make. HC decides to lead Tyranitar here. Basically, I think Puff was thinking here potentially we're going to see Tapu Lele here to counteract the Lopunny. I mean, obviously, if HC led Lopunny again, and you have the T-Tar there, it's just awful. So we see the Gara come in. We go see a Heavy Slam come out from basically right here. Celesteela is unkillable to everything on HC's team. We see the Toxic on Gara. That's just really good at chipping shit down. We see the switch into Feeny. No reason to take more damage on the Celesteela when it at 75% it will live a Fire Blast from Naganadel, which is like important because it can get like that one hit off that's needed for Lopunny. Nice double into Lopunny on predicted like Landorus T. So we're going to see a Fake Out come here, probably. Yeah, onto the Gyarados. That's fine. I think after after the chip, return is going to KO. It probably should have Mega'd there for the bulk. Maybe after. Oh, he's Mega T-Tar. That's why he didn't Mega. Stealth Rock there. Is he the boom? Is he Mega T-Tar? Yeah, I think he's Mega T-Tar. Right here, Pop basically has this game. He's got DD with Megatar. I still don't think you kill Feeny with anything. Gonna put up the Reflect, I think. Basically, this neuters like T-Tar's setting up, and now you kind of have to fish for crits. He doesn't get a crit there. He's gonna go for another edge, obviously. Poff HE can win if he basically HE can win if he's crits Cell Stealer this game. But yeah, the fact that he has to use superpower on, he's forced to use superpower on Lopunny. If he didn't have it, he'd have to go for a Stone Edge crit, I think. And definitely high jump kick blows back Tyranitar. So it's and he doesn't get a crit, putting Cell Stealer in berry range, and then Heavy Slam is going to KO because the defense drops. So that's solid enough game. So we had that. That was a 1-0. Then we have our doubles series. Essentially, MrGX bringing like a double intimidate plus Metagross team. It has the Snorlax there, it's pretty cool. And then CK49's team is just like it's got the sand and the bravery. CK49's been bringing some like interesting teams. I think he's brought bravery before. It didn't work out last time. So anyways, we see the Tapu Fini bravery lead versus Coco Suicune. Obviously, like this, the advantage is for Suicune here. For MrGX, gets a nice 50% off with the Nature's Madness. We see the double Nature's Madness, so really getting good mileage out of this. Tapu Fini calm minding up quite a lot, which is annoying. Probably a Z move because he's taken 2 Nature's Madnesses. Unfortunate miss on the Coco. It probably wouldn't have quite KO'd, but it'd been close. That's what Muddy Water does for you. Anyways, we get the Volt Switch back from Tapu Koko. You can see Incineroar probably come out here. Or no, Tyranitar. So we see Mega T-Tar versus Metagross. The Iron Head comes from into the Fini slot. And then we have a Calm Mind here. Tailwind is pretty much going to secure the game here. I'm pretty sure you just Iron Head into, yeah, T-Tar. Suicune should be able to take any one hit. And with the Tailwind, basically, that means Landorus is going to be faster than everything. And Earthquake sweeps. I'm surprised we see the Tectonic Rage come out right here. I'd have just gone for an Earthquake and KO'd. You KO Suicune basically, whilst carrying T-Tar. Because that way you preserve the Scarf. But solid game anyways. Right here we have game 2. I'm gonna go through these a bit quicker actually. So we see similar lead from MrGX. The Fini, except we see the adjustment, which is putting the T-Tar in. We have the like probably double setup here, yeah. From Coco, we see Protect from the Fini, Protect from the T-Tar, just wasting a Tailwind turn. Nature's Madness Skull going into the T-Tar. Right here we see Electro Web, really good, and annoying. Just in case, basically makes Suicune faster, and it stops T-Tar from getting too fast. Nice predict on the Fini. MrGX kind of destroying things at the moment. We're going to see the drill come out because Lando's already on the field. We see nice switch into Coco. Yeah, unfortunately, Mew goes down. Right here, I'm pretty sure a nice sky drop. Yeah, and Z into the extra dual slot. He has no choice but to die. Right here, I think you just madness on. Okay, Electro Web is fine. You could be in a bit of trouble here. I think you just switch Lando out, and you just continue to Electro Web. The rock slide, pretty risky, because look at the amount of damage that's been done. We're going to see the last from MrGX was Metagross. I think right here you just see the crunch. The crunch doesn't quite KO. I mean, I think Lando won at that point with just Earthquake in the 1v1. So yeah, MrGX won. I think that was a solid series as well. And then we have the double set we lost. Essentially, Kang Azu versus Kang versus Kang Talonflame. We're going to see a lot of Will-O-Wisp basically come out from the Talonflame. So we see nice low kick in. I should say Pinksylvie's bringing a chalk, and then this is kind of like an older Oras team from TheLoanRanger. I'm surprised that Heatran wasn't switched in on the second Will-O-Wisp onto the Azu, because Azu's such a big threat to the TheLoanRanger's team. If he drummed there, he was basically fucked, because this is a Spadef Talonflame. I guess actually burn damage would have made sure things. One thing that of to note here is that to take away from this first game from Pinksylvie should be that Heatran is unkillable. Unfortunate crit on the Dark Pulse. That was very important actually, because without that Dark Pulse crit, I think Pinksylvie has a decent chance of winning the game. We're going to see the Flare Blitz come out versus Humongous. And yeah, this is in the bag for TheLoanRanger. You see the nice power punch, but Heatran predicts it and goes for Pinksylvie predicts it and goes for the Heat Wave. If that had burnt, obviously Pinksylvie would have won the game right there and then. So yeah, Power Punch wins there. You see the Crest. Crest probably not the best choice in this matchup when he has AG and High Dragon. And Power Punch, I guess Power Punch Kangaskhan as well. It can be good against the Humongous if it's got safety goggles. Crit on the Humongous obviously is awful. TheLoanRanger makes a nice play, like just basically stopping the spore from coming out. Like Humongous has no room to spore there. We see Heat Wave go into the Aegis Slash. Nice HB Ice. I guess he's predicting a Landorus T. You're going to see a Heat Wave come out. A nice read from Pinksylvie, really, because he could have gone for White Guard. See, Cresselia is like only useful for putting up Trick Room in this game. And then it's gone. I think right here we're going to see fake out Heat Wave. Or we could, if yeah, Heatran here, you can go for sub as well. Sub Heatran would destroy, but I'm assuming it's not sub. We see sleep into Kang. Protects. Nice staying on the Spore. And essentially we're going to see Among Us take more damage, and then Heatran should be able to come in and clean this up with a Spore onto Lando. Yeah. Oh, it's unfortunate miss on the Heat Wave, but it doesn't matter because he got the Giga Drain. Very close game though. The Among Us was very low. Perhaps it could have been a roll. But you got the crit on the Among Us. TheLoanRanger got the crit on the Among Us earlier, so that's what made it potentially a roll. We see Crass Among Us again versus Hydreigon and Kang. This is a terrifying matchup. We see a nice taunt onto the Among Us. Basically makes Among Us useless. Among Us is nothing without Spore, is what I've realised from playing ORS doubles. I mean, you know, Giga Drain, this is alright, but now something has to die. And you always attack the Cresselia because basically Among Us is useless without Spore. And because Talonflame's in, even though the Spore, the taunt is ended, Among Us has to switch out. We see a nice double into Kang. Yeah, TheLoanRanger gets that play back perfectly. We see the Heat Wave come out. Double burn, which is amazing. Kang also survives the Draco. So right here, you save the thing, the Kang, and you have a situation with what is Talonflame versus Talonflame Meiji versus Among Us plus Heatran Among Us versus Talonflame Meiji. Also, he has the Kang in the back, which is something to be potentially wary of. So right here, you know, basically, you just, okay, this is fine. The Heat Wave is fine here, but you need to protect on your Among Us here and protect on Aegislash, on Heatran, because the reason TheLoanRanger won is because he got the weakness policy. The weakness policy doesn't even matter here. If he's got both Kang and Heatran, because he can sucker punch with the Kang, whilst heat waving with the Heatran constantly. If he doesn't given the weakness policy bonus, which will always win the game. So yeah, that's how we lost that. So we're 2-1 right now, and we play Average Fellow in ORS. Originally, I thought this matchup was like quite good for Average Fellow. The one thing that is really in the favor of Misaka is that there's the Breloom. The Breloom absolutely destroys Average Fellow's team. He doesn't have, like, I don't know whether it's a problem with his construction, but he doesn't have a good Breloom check. So yeah, we're going to see Porygon 2 lead versus Manectric. Yeah, the Lightning Rod, it's good when you have Greninja and Gyarados. I was talking to Average Fellow a bit about this after the game, but it's just such a liability when the opponent brings Porygon 2. Because yeah, right here, he can't Volt Switch out. So, he has the hard switch into, okay, his own Porygon 2. yeah, Trick Room P2 actually beats Stand on P2 beats Trick Room P2. So yeah, we're gonna see recover spam, ice beams. Now he goes to Breloom on a recover. Solid play. We're gonna see the spore come out. Mac, 2 Macs. We're gonna see if he gets 3 hits, multiple hits here, then Misaka just wins the game. But because he doesn't, essentially that happens. Right here, Breloom's spore again, because you're guaranteed a turn of sleep, and if he switches out into like Gyarados or something, then you are going to be profiting. So Bullet Seed here again. The crit, whilst it isn't that important in the scheme of things, because Average Fellow ends up winning the game anyways, but the spore with Breloom would have probably changed that game around completely. So it was kind of a choke going into Gara instead of like just hard going. I don't know. It was probably okay. So anyways, we see game 2. Oh, this is even depressing for me. Okay. We see P2 lead versus P2 lead. Basically, what's happened is last game, the Manectric lead wasn't working for Average Fella, so he's decided to go directly towards that matchup. We see Marwall come in on the Toxic. Smart play. We see perhaps an SD come out from the Marwall. Knockoff here is really free, as is Play Rough. Play Rough does a ton. Something going to die to Pyro. Really unfortunate here, because Play Rough would have messed this up, as would have Knockoff. Yeah, especially since it's SG Chomp. We see the Tri Attack come in. Basically here, Breloom comes in. The Sash is activated. We're going to see a Spore. Doesn't get the hits. So right here, because essentially we see the Mac come out, and that Mac punch puts Marwall in range of winning this game. Essentially, even if he goes into P2 here, you can SD on the P2, which will mean that even after the Intimidate, you still win the game. So yeah, we see that. We're going to see a Play Rough. He could have knocked as well, was applying play. I know this set has knock. But yeah, I guess if you have a full para whilst P2 recovers, I guess you're fucked anyways. So yeah, game 3, we see P2 versus the Manectric again. Misaka should always lead P2, I think, in this matchup. We see the Tri Attack come out straight away instead of Trick Room. The Marwall for the P2 answer. Avricella makes an adjustment, which is going for the Ice Beam. We're going to see the SD from Marwall here, and now Avricella in an awful situation. Fortunately gets the flinch. Basically, Play Rough killed everything on Average Fella's team. Right here, we see the +1 attack. We see a Sucker probably come out here. Average Fella could have predicted that and gone for recover, but it doesn't matter essentially, because Breloom comes here and you're sporing. You can mark here as long as you. Unfortunately, he gets the first turn wake, but this doesn't actually matter because what happens is that now you go hard Porygon 2. You click Trick Room, and you click Tri Attack, and you are. I mean, that burn is fortunate, as is the crit. Basically means P2 can't get off multiple attacks. But yeah, here you Spore. I don't think Spore even matters because 2 hits of Bullet Seed kills. Because Manectric is frail as hell without its Intimidate ability. So yeah, we see this, and then we are 3-1 up at this point, and most of those games I feel like have been pretty legit. You'd argue that there was like a few like little pieces of hacks, but not really. They've been clean series. So essentially, we've guaranteed a tie for this week, which would have put us in 3rd place. Well, instead of 2nd, 3rd place. But we're gonna win this game. Hey, I had to open this as well. But yeah, Cant Say bring a really weird team, but it's basically a rain. One of the things that I looked at Kaori's team, and I was like, it's too weak. It's too weak to Ferrothorn, so we changed it a lot, quite a bit, which helped in this series. So we see the Politoed lead against Mamoswine. There's no reason not to bring Rain every game in this series, even though he has the Ferrothorn. You have the Politoed Focus Blast, and you bring your Sizzle every game. Sizzle has his Banded Superpower, which also like absolutely wrecks through Cant Say's team. Because under Rain, you can always switch in Kingdra on Volcarona. So, and there's no other weather control on Cant Say's team unless he has like Sunny Day. But I don't think he has should have Sunny Day here when he has Taunty for the Hurricane, and Volk may well have Hurricane as well. We see the Surf. Spec Surf does so much to Ferrothorn. Holy shit. We see the T-Wave come out here. Very solid play from Cant Say. Probably a banded superpower is coming out here onto the Volcarona. That's key. If he'd have hit that, that would have been key. Either that or U-turn. Either ways, that would have been key because it puts Volcarona in range even at +1 of a Politoed Surf. Even if it's like fat as fuck. Because Volcarona is a very fat Pokemon. We're going to see the switching to Kingdra. This is a very smart play from Kaori. Understanding the leech seed is going to come out. Makes the substitute. Most people expect a Specs Kingdra. Unfortunate miss on the Hydro, but I guess it's these are like equally likely to miss. We see Pump do so much damage. Ice Beam here. Basically, he's put the Ferrothorn in range here of Politoed. This freeze doesn't. It looks like it matters a lot, and yes, he could have T-waved and then potentially like got some paras onto the Kingdra. Obviously, if he didn't get any paras, Kingdra would have just continuously pumped versus Cant Say's team. So yeah, go for the Ice Beam. I mean, you know, you go for the Ice Beam because it doesn't miss. Like Pump would have KO'd from that range, but you go for the Ice Beam. Essentially here, Ice Shard isn't going to KO. It's a roll, but even that roll doesn't matter because you go into Sizzle and slow U-turn. And it doesn't matter if you go Volk on Politoed, you lose. And I'm pretty sure Politoed takes Earthquake into Giga Drain because this one's max HP. Are we gonna see it? Is Pump gonna land? Yeah, it is. Yeah, Politoed is surprisingly fat. Game 2, I think, like, is a lot cleaner than Game 1, which is probably how the series is gonna go. Nice Focus Blast. Focus Blast covers basically both his Cant Say switch-ins, and like at that point, yeah, you go for another focus back, but it doesn't matter. You've lost the game because you can go hard Kingdra here on the Quiver Dance. Kingdra, obviously a boosted Kingdra pump, if it lands, is gonna actually KO. And we see another pump, and there we go. That's how we won. I guess I feel like we did deserve to win the series. I'm saying this as a preface to this third game, for this last series where some hacky shenanigans happened, I guess. Because no doubt I'm gonna be on the BSPL podcast probably, you know, unless Cant Say bans me, and you know, he might say, "Oh, we deserve to tie or win," but I don't think he did. You know, so the Cavs did. So you know, the differential sure is like a lot worse. It could have been. It's like when we lost against the Luxrays, our differential could have been like we could have lost 4-2 or even drew 3-3 if luck had gone our way. But obviously that's not how Pokemon works sometimes. Anyways, looking at this matchup, like Lopunny's like really good here, basically. But on the other end, his team struggles to switch into Charizard. Charizard's a terror. So we just see the battle of the Megas right here. Fake out is free. Breaks potential sash on Greninja. Breaks disguise. Tells me that he doesn't really have a switch in to. Ooh, I don't care about that. He doesn't really have a switch into Lopunny, because obviously if you go Porygon 2 there, you just get a kick with Lopunny, and yeah, because of Scrappy, Mimikyu will obviously have its disguise broken anyway, so you've lost even more. See the Charizard come out on nice blast. Basically, what happened here was 1 TP predicted potential Z from Mimikyu or Play Rough. I don't think Play Rough actually KOs Lopunny. Maybe you could have stayed in with Lop here and just attacked the Mimikyu. I'll have to. Pokemon Showdown damage calc. Pokemon Showdown damage calc. What do I want? Lop versus Mimikyu. I'm pretty sure, like, Battle Spot's offensive source dance. Return doesn't KO, yeah. I wonder if you can run an Adamant. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. I wonder if you can run an Adamant to get. That's a KO after Stealth Rock. That could be something that. How much does the Adamant run up to? 187. I mean, obviously the speed tier of Lopunny is why you want it, but 187 is not a bad speed. It's not as bad speed at all. And most things aren't max. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. We see the Lopunny fake out. You can tell from that damage that that's probably a bulky Zard. I'm actually gonna calculate that as well. Yeah, fake out would have usually fake out into return usually kills Zard. Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, we see the Ice Punch here. Interesting Ice Punch play. I'd have just honestly gone for return. Yeah, right here, 1 TP just forfeits because there's no way you can win this game as Lily. When he has this Lily's fat as well, so you're not beating Mimikyu essentially. You can see on a Fire Blast miss, and maybe you can win. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think like it's far better to preserve your Lele set here, which is why I want TP forfeits, because you want to give. You don't want to give any information up here, because this could be like Scarf Lele. Scarf Lele is decent in this game. Fighting MZ is also very good. But yeah, from the damage count, he's obviously going to be able to tell on the Mimikyu whether this is like CMZ or whatever. And Mimikyu, even though its disguise is busted, basically will KO Lele after a fire move from Charizard, or any move from Charizard essentially, or put him in range, and if he's not in range, then Greninja will win with a move. So yeah, game 2. Basically the adjustment for 1 TP here is that he brings Garchomp as his Charizard check. So we see the fake out again. Mimikyu isn't KO'd from, obviously quite KO'd. Goes to Ferrothorn. We have the mind game here. So essentially, the first time Chemcoop doubled into Charizard on his on the Mimikyu. This time he doesn't, but 1 TP calls that correctly, and the Z move is wasted. And if he was even more of a Don, he'd have gone gone into Chomp here, but he makes a far safer play, which is going Gyro Ball. Gyro Ball guarantees that even after the it guarantees the chip on Charizard, so that even if you come in and on Ferrothorn and click Blast, then you're in range of Rock Tomb from Garchomp. And like right here, Chem risks it not being Scarf, gets punished for it. We see the Greninja come in. Yeah, obviously you're gonna Rock Tomb here. We see that it's Torrent Greninja as well. Return here is gonna KO, and because of the Mimikyu taking the Iron Barb's damage, it's gonna die to return as well. You see that it's a non-bulky Mimikyu from that damage as well, which is something to keep in mind for next game. So right here, I think 1TP has led Lopunny both games, and Lopunny is definitely excellent in this matchup. But one thing that Chem's been doing is he's realised that his Charizard can live fake out into return because it's fat. I mean, Mimikyu can basically Mimikyu can obviously live with disguise, but you don't want your disguise broken on Mimikyu. So anyways, we see Lopunny lead versus Charizard. Right here, I thought that 1TP was going to lead Garchomp, which would have been awful for this Zard. We see the fake out here. Obviously, putting in range for fake out into return. 1TP makes a bad read here. This play is bad because essentially you have Sash Greninja. Even if he goes for Fire Blast in the sun, let's say it brings it down to Sash, which it probably does. It is Charizard Y Fire Blast in the sun. But you have the Sash, so you guarantee live. You don't need to return, and you can preserve your Lopunny, because now he has a really difficult time versus Porygon 2. And like, let's say he'd have switched into Greninja, taken the Blast, then you can double back into Lopunny if you're feeling a bit like more spicy on the P2, and Chem's basically fucked because then fake out into return actually kills Charizard as well. So we see Ice Beam into the P2. this is technically this is the first chance to freeze the P2. We see the recover here, just getting back to 4 HP. That recover is a smart play because without that recover, Fighting Z from Tapu Lele KOs P2. Whereas we see the Calm Mind here. We see the Fire Blast come out. This crit is actually pretty important because it basically what happens here without the crit is Lele gets K. Lele gets KO'd here. Lele goes back down to like 40% here. Charizard gets KO'd. Then you can bring in Thunderous, and you have to Z in order to win the game when there's still Sash Greninja with Sash intact. So if you Z into the Sash Greninja, obviously you can't take an Ice Beam from Protein Gren. So essentially you are like in a bad situation where you're forced to Z. But right here, because Tapu Lele is so low, it can't actually basically Fund here can just click Thunderbolt and which it should do. It doesn't matter if you see your Thunderbolt here, by the way. But okay, you see the Gren come in. The Gren's gonna force out Fund, which if you make this double here, a similar series of plays, Tapu Lele is now at 40% HP, and even you can't, obviously you can't sack the P2. You can't sack the P2 here because if you sack P2, you instantly lose. So right here, the double into Fund is free. Anyways, I'm not explaining this very well. We see the GGs anyways, and then this happens. This is an amazing turn, I've got to say. It's actually pretty important for our differential. Not even gonna lie, but it was just funny because of this. I don't know if you can see it on this. Yeah, you can see it. You've got to be kidding me. The crit on Lele didn't even matter. I was Z-Fun, so I killed you after Flash Chip. Oh man, you got to love the salt. Hey, I'd be hella salty as well, to be fair, if that happened in my games. I mean, to be fair, a lot of Fire Blasts were hit in that series. If we missed Fire Blast on the Lele, for example, Chem would have lost instantly. Probably a similar message would have come out, even though statistically it's probable that he should miss a blast. That's just one example. I mean, technically P2 was Ice Beam twice, so there was a 10% plus 90 times 10. I think it's 19% chance that you get frozen after taking 2 Ice Beams. Whereas the chance of hitting 4 5 Fire Blasts is about 45%. So I mean, you know, 1TB definitely got the better end of the luck in the last game when it counted. That was pretty much the only way he could win. And then, yeah, we went 5-1. So I'm just rambling on a bit now. So let's have a look at our scores. The scores on the doors. We are in second place now. Basically, that win guaranteed we'd be joint second. but that win guarantees us differential. And we have to play the drummers. If we win or draw, then we're in. A draw will put us at 6 points, which basically means that we're guaranteed to be at least second, at least third, because we'd have 6 points and the drummers and the helmet's going to get 5. So if we lose, then there'll be a bunch of things based on differential. If we win, we're automatically in. If we draw, we're automatically in. Yeah, there's some scenarios where we can be first, but I'm not going to bother worrying about them. Just try and win next week. Week 5, looking at our matchups, we have Lloyd versus Puff, Poke versus 1TP. I think we have a decent chance. Charlotte versus MrGX, probably the hardest series here, but we'll see what we can do. MrGX is very good actually, and has been on a tear, so he can win that series as well. Snar versus Misaka, that could be a hard series. We've put Kaori in RS doubles because Pinksylvie is away for Worlds, and then we have Dart versus Squash. With GBU, I think with like decent prep, you can win against anyone, even Dark. Dark's obviously a hard opponent there though, so like the two that we're at least, I guess, are most worried about are the BSD and the GBU. I think we have the advantage in BSS, and we're like, I think we have the advantage in ORS doubles as well. So we can, and ORS, I think, given how Misaka's been playing, I think, you know, that's pretty even. So we can definitely, this series can go either ways, but I think we have a decent chance of drawing it, or at least winning. I'll go have a look at this BSPL All-Star Week just before I go. It's literally 3 minutes old, so I didn't know. Okay. If you're in semi-finals and do not want to play in All-Star Week, let's have a look. My voting form. My favourite. I've got to include my boys. Obviously, I've got to include my boys. You know, Puff. Who else is some from us? Squash. Oh, he's not there. No. Oh. Who will be my 4th favourite? Oh, we got a shout out to my manager. There we go. Although there's like a lot of good people here that, you know, I'm happy either ways. You got to rep your team when you're doing these things. So our BSD players, obviously, we got to put MrGX in. Choose 2 Dingus. I don't want to choose 2. After that, I feel like Murley has, with that win against Charlotte, Murley's probably deserved as my 2nd favourite. If Charlotte had won that series, I think they'd definitely be the who I'd vote for. Favourite ORS BSS, Misaka's done great, and my 2nd favourite, I got the person I played with 2nd most is Pearl, so I'm gonna put Pearl there. Pearl's been unfortunate, I think. I really like a lot of these guys as well. So, you know, I'd vote Jake as well. I wish I could. If choose can't say, you can't decide. Okay. Well, I'm really a fan of Cant Say as well. So this could go either way. Favorite OSBSD, obviously got to chat on my boys. Legacy's unlikely to get in. Maybe Pinksylvie will get in. Who knows? Favorite GB players, we got Kaori and Squash, of course. We've put them in. Vote for formats played. hey man, the BSS Factory, that's the only one I want played. And some of these, BSS Monotype, those sound sick. PBR online single sounds like pretty fun as well, actually. BSS Little Cup is gonna be dumb. I don't wanna, don't click that. Free battle also. That could be like quite bad with like 6 girlies. Jugon Cup, I mean, it's Jugon Cup, but I can't watch Jugon Cup. That is only entertaining to play. I'm trying to think of another format to put in there. Gen 6 BSS triples. Oh yeah. Battle Royale. Battle Royale. 2v2 on 3DS. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna end the stream there. Well, it's not a stream, it's the video. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Subscribe, hit like. I'm just kidding, I don't give a shit if you do any of that. And yeah, hopefully we see Inkays in the playoffs, and I'll probably do one more video about us, which will be like a review of our season and stuff when we've finished playing and stuff.